Men want women as slaves. The wanting is universal. 3 centuries of civilization told men no. No one told women no. That is the asymmetry that kind of governs everything else. Look back further. Every civilization that has ever existed, if you leave it to its own devices, they end up with slaves. They end up owning slaves in some way, shape, or form. Every single one, without an exception. The drive to own other humans is in all of us. It does not extinguish under cultural pressure. It does not respond to argument. Camille Paglia in Sex Personae called this older force the Chthonian. It's this dark instinct beneath our manners, beneath our laws, beneath our courtesies, beneath the euphemism. It's the part of human nature that civilization has to paint out with law and the zeitgeist and culture. But you can never really paint it out of humans, out of humanity. It's this deep, dark part of our psyche that really led us to win the world and take over everything and slaughter everything to get to the top. It is the id. So the civilizational project of the last 3 centuries was the construction of no. The no. This is constitutional law. This is the abolition of slavery in its visible form. This is civil rights statute. This is labor protection, human rights treaties, antitrust laws, the judicial review of state power. I'm talking about centuries of moral, legal, religious work, all of which were just designed to do one thing, and that is to tell the visible exercisers of power, no, you will not, you cannot own humans, you cannot be tyrannical. We will see you, we will stop you. The project worked. The visible exerciser of power is today more regulated, more audited, more transparent, more held to account, more legislated, more denounced, more viewed, more scrutinized than at any moment in human history. There's no debating this. The wall holds on that side. But the wall was only really built around the side that it could see. Male power has always been the legible kind, the one that could be named and scrutinized. Kingship, warlordship, capital ownership, the named authority, the man whose name is on the deed, the man who you can take to court. Only because it is named can it be named in court. Because it can be named, it can be limited. Because it can be observed, it can be regulated. The no that we've spent so much time building is only enforceable against power that has agreed to be visible. Female power has never had a named form. It operates through channels that the regulatory apparatus does not recognize as power channels. It's selection of mates, allocation of approval, leveraging of vulnerability, deployment of credibility, the granting or suspension to access to children and sex, the manipulation of social consensus inside of female peer networks. None of these read as power inside of this detection grid. They read as preference, as feeling, as the natural exercise of female agency. The same exercise of male agency in any of those domains would be flagged inside of the hour. So the no got delivered to one side and not to the other. Men were told no for 3 centuries. Men have accepted this no. The drive to own other humans did not vanish from mankind. The drive cannot vanish from the id. It got contained. Men still want slaves. In the dark depths of the human psyche, this drive lives in all of us. The cultural answer to that drive in men was no, the no that we built. And men, under 3 centuries of pressure, complied. But no one ever told women no. They never thought to. Watch the selection pressure operate over generations. So selection pressure is this quiet force that weeds out one kind of player and leaves another standing. A culture that polices visible power and ignores invisible power eventually only has the invisible players left. The visible ones get crushed by the no. They get crushed by the apparatus. The invisible ones remain. The drive to own other humans is universal, but the license to act on it has been narrowed to one sex because the no was only applied to the other. Across 3 generations of unanswered exercise, the women operating in that mode develop the confidence of the undetected. The mask comes off. Women want men as slaves. Women want to enslave men. They cannot do so forcefully. The thing is this: if a woman were to come out and say that she wants to have a man as a slave, she would be celebrated. I mean, literal slave. It has been increasingly visible how much they want to enslave men. Each fucking instance of slavery in human history has been unthinkable. Women are emotionally enslaving men, financially enslaving men. This does not feel like a transgression to the women. It is the water that they are born in. It's the water that they remain swimming in. Inside this market, no trust is possible. Trust is the predictable sequence of shared rules followed in public. Where there are rules, you can predict the next move of a stranger, and the prediction is the trust. When there are no rules, the predictions collapse. Modern dating has spent 40 years removing all of the rules, all of the taboos, all of the guidelines, all of the shame, all of the community. There are no taboos to violate anymore. There are no judgments to fear. There are no obligations that bind. Every contact is hedged. Every move is reversible, detached from. Every commitment is phrased like a preference. The freedom is real. The freedom is immense. The trust that is destroyed is also real. You cannot have both. The market that results is exactly what the model predicts. Two people, each intensely calculating the cost of being the only one that shows up. Nothing in the system rewards showing up. Everything in the system rewards keeping the exit ramp open. The whole arrangement is held in place by one thing: men's continued willingness to cooperate. Men's continued willingness to play the cooperative role while they are being told that they are the problem. If you pull that single beam, the building falls. The men that are still showing up are the wall. Yes, the wall. Instant the wall decides it's time to stop being a wall, this whole fucking arrangement crumbles. There is no replacement for the cooperating male. The system does not survive his withdrawal. The reasons men do not withdraw are old. The first is the accusation. Look, the accusation has been doing its work for a long time now. Men are feeling beaten down. But a lot of boys are just exiting primary school with it to be truth, a universal, unilateral truth in their mind. Aside from the accusation, there is just fear that the withdrawal is final. Most men were never taught how to hold a final thing in their hands without fumbling it. Then there's loneliness. The man married to a woman who stops seeing him still falls asleep next to her at night. He still hears her breathing. He's afraid to go home to a room without breathing in it. What he's starting to understand is that what looks like stability is actually just one-sided cooperation. The system runs on the cooperator. The day that the cooperator stops cooperating, the apparatus that has been monetizing his cooperation has nothing left to monetize. The mask that was so brave in daylight was brave because the wall was still showing up to work. If you remove the dude, if you remove the cooperation of the man, everyone has to face what reality actually has to say. Culture at large, the internet at large, they're rooting for women enslaving men. They are cheering women on as women inch closer and closer to literally trying to enslave. I think that if this plays out, I think that if the culture plays out, it's gonna be a joke. It's ironic right now, right? Oh no, we love man slaves. No. I think that if you give women enough power, they will enslave men. They will. At any point in time, men could simply put their foot down, and if we banded together, we would just overthrow all the women pretty easily, right? By force. We just have to be careful the way that technology is progressing. Robotic humans. We have to be careful.